We're live for the first time on Sky Comics. We're live, and I'm here with my buddy Tim of, what is it, weinercast? Is that your YouTube channel's name?
Weinercast, baby.
Weinercast. Information is going to be in the description, so go ahead and give him a follow and check it out. This is episode number 2, or part 2, I'll say, of our MCU discussion. The first part is on his channel, so y'all are going to have to go over there to watch it.
Yeah, like, we're not going to give you, like, a recap of what we talked about here. I mean, we'll probably do a quick one. Like, we made it through the original fucking Spider-Man movie from the 70s all the way up to almost Avenger. That's the recap that you're going to get.
Yeah, from the beginning to before the Avengers. That's all you're getting.
Yeah. We didn't talk about I don't know if we talked about that old Captain America movie where he's wearing, like, that motorcycle helmet.
I don't think so.
Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen any of the, I haven't seen any of the, like, not MCU movies other than, like, you know, like Blade, like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, like Hulk. But, like, everything else has been MCU.
In this movie, not only does he steal someone's car once, I think he does it a total of, like, 3 times of, like, stealing someone's car so he can get somewhere.
I thought Captain America was supposed to be hunky-dory good boy.
So fucking good.
But all right, so yeah. The last episode went on for a good long while. This episode's probably going to go on for a good long while. And the next one will probably go on for a good long. And then the next one, you said you got buddies that were going to chime in, right? On part 3?
Yeah, probably. Because then we'll go back. We're going to keep going, like, back and forth on channels. Yeah. And the same buddies that were on our my One Piece episode are going to want to come back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
It's just it's difficult dealing with one of my buddies because he's on California time, so he's 2 hours. He's 2 hours away.
So 8 o'clock. It's like 6 p.m. to him.
Yeah.
And yeah, that'll be a tough one, but we'll figure it out. So how you been, man?
I've been great. I've been working a lot. Been super busy. Today is my only day off. So I was like, dude, let's freaking record.
Yeah, let's get after it. Because we haven't talked about it at all since we did the first part. And we're like, yeah, we'll schedule something out. And then we didn't. And then today, I was actually on my way from the post office to the grocery store because I had to ship out some comic books I sold.
Nice.
And you were just like, hey, we should record today. I'm like, absolutely. I was gonna do some recording today, anyways. That script that I sent you, that's gonna be done today, and gonna get put up Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out. I like the script, so it was. I'll check it out.
Hell yeah! And everybody else, check it out. All right, it'll be out Wednesday. This Wednesday.
Yeah.
But all right, so MCU, we got all the way up to, we mentioned the Avengers movie. We did not talk about it because if we talked about the first one, we'd have to talk about all of them, and we were already at like 2.5, 3 hours worth of talk time. So,
did you ever notice how this Avengers movie and Green Lantern, the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie, had like the same plot?
No. What do you mean? I've only seen the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern like once when it first came out.
I think I've seen it twice. But so this is just something I realized back when the Avengers movie was in theaters. Like, so I don't really remember the Green Lantern movie. I've seen it twice, and it's just like something that you just want to like block out of your fucking head.
Yeah, it was bad. And I love superhero movies. Like, I don't really care, but that was bad.
Yeah, there was a video game, I think, for it too, and you could like see like Ryan Reynolds' toes in the costume type shit. like his feet muscles and like bone structure and stuff. Very, very bad rendering, but
it's too much.
I remember like these movies came out around the same time. I like to say like 2012. Was that it? Was it 2012?
Could be. I don't know. We can find out.
It came out around the same time, and I was all like, dude, like these movies are like almost, even though like when I saw the first Avengers movie, I was like blown like almost every shot or like how they angled the frames and stuff like looked like comic book panels. It looked awesome. But like just like the plot of the movies, I felt like they were like almost like exactly the same.
So the Green Lantern came out in 2011 and Avengers came out 2012.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were right there. But I mean that happens with most movies, man. If you really look at how the story is structured, there's only like 5 or 6 like types of movies just with different characters and they kind of jumble it up a little bit. It's all the same story.
DreamWorks and Disney came out with fucking Ants and Bugs Life at the exact same time. But that was actually done on purpose through DreamWorks because a bunch of their people had left Pixar to go work for DreamWorks and they already had that idea. Like, that was like one of the dudes who left Pixar, like that Ants or Bugs Life, whatever, was like his original idea. So when he went to DreamWorks to go do it instead, then fucking Pixar was like, well, we already have the script that you left here behind or whatever, so we're still gonna make your movie.
and don't get me wrong, Bugs Life was really good. Ants was really good. Like Ants was great.
Ants was way better, exactly.
100%. Well, it was more real. It was a little grittier. It was like the difference between like Spider-Man and Batman. Like they're both really good. Spider-Man's more funsy, hunky-dory, and Batman's more like, this is real. This is the blood and guts of what life is actually like. Yeah. And they're both good.
Unless you get to like Batman, like I think even like the Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon was still like it was silly, especially Aquaman's case. Aquaman stole the show every time. He was like heroic, like super corny. He stole the show all the time, but like, we're not going to talk about DC for 45 minutes again. We're going to try to talk about
talking about DC when it's not a DC podcast.
Dude, you got to take the lead. You got to take this. It's your channel today. You got to take the lead.
Channel today. All right. Well, so it's been a while. The reason why I wanted us to kind of like plan it out, is so I could go and watch some of these movies and kind of get a recap in, because I'm ADHD and dyslexic and all these other things that make me not hold on to information. Yeah. But Avengers, it was great. This is the culmination of all the cut scenes, like the end credit scenes from the previous movies, with Nick Fury going around and trying to get everybody together. And as far as I remember in those cut scenes, he didn't succeed with everybody. Not everybody was down. But in this movie, it all comes together. And I believe it was Black Widow like went and got Hulk.
Black Widow goes and picks up Hulk.
And our Hawkeye was already kind of a part of it anyways.
Hawkeye gets brainwashed by Loki.
Oh yeah, where he comes through the portal that they used with the Tesseract.
Yeah, and the one scientist dude from Thor gets brainwashed by Loki.
Oh, he got wicked brainwashed. He got like, this is my ruler brainwashed.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's beautiful. You just don't understand.
Yeah, it felt like Hawkeye was almost in like a Majin Vegeta state where like he was brainwashed, but like he could like kind of control it.
Yeah, he just knew all he had to do was kill everybody on the Avengers and anybody who opposed. But he got to make his own choices to do those things.
Yeah.
But no, I loved this. And when this movie came out, I didn't realize that it was going to be a part of this giant franchise that is the Avengers. Because I also wasn't into comic books, so I didn't realize that Endgame was an actual thing. I was just watching these movies as they came out. And then was pleasantly surprised that they made, 4 Avengers movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 of them. But this is cool. This is cool because you got a little bit of every superhero in this movie. You got, because the main premise is Loki. Loki comes to Earth. What is that?
This is the Infinity War with the cover missing.
Oh, that's rad. Is that MODOK?
Dude, everybody's in this. Everybody's in this Infinity War stuff, dude. There's a scene where Wolverine's fighting Thanos, and like he turns his bones into rubber. Like, this shit's wild, and it's all because Thanos is simping for Lady Death. That's why.
Really?
He's trying to get all powerful just so he can like prove his name to Lady Death because he has a crush on her. But I think at the same time she was dating Deadpool.
Yeah, none of that made it into the movies. But even the Wolverine thing, but that's just because
they have rights.
Fox had the rights to X-Men at the time.
Yeah, all mutants. So it was crazy, like in Avengers 2, how they were able to get Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Well, yeah, but they weren't, because they weren't in any of the X-Men movies at that point.
No, but then we get Quicksilver in like Days of Future Past and like some other. I think
it was just the one, because didn't he die?
The one in Avengers 2 died. The other Quicksilver in the X-Men movies didn't die, and then he came back as Ralph Boner in WandaVision.
Yeah. That's the one thing. And then, like, so with the doing research for the video I sent you the script for, like the difference between like Marvel and DC and stuff, I've noted, and like that right there is like the key thing that pisses everybody off about Marvel comic books is characters are kind of like all over the place. There's no real rhyme or reason for it, but then like later on there'll be an event that kind of ties everything together, but you have to watch all of this other stuff to know what's going on. And it's frustrating because it's just like
DC stopped doing that because they felt like you're being like alienated or just oversaturated with too much content. So like DC did stop doing that. Marvel's like, dude, we don't give a fuck. We're gonna reboot Spider-Man every 10 years. We're gonna fucking
And it works. It works for them, and it's a great marketing ploy to get people to buy more comic books because as long as they put a #1 on that book, Spider-Man #1, people are gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Even though it's not the start of a new story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Avengers, dude, this shit was amazing. This shit like almost made me stick to my seat with like a ooey goodness.
The Avengers movies were great because like when you watch like the Spider-Mans, Iron Mans, like the individual movies, like they're good. They're a good watch, but like when you get the Avengers, any of them, it's just like a masterpiece. Like you are glued to the screen the whole time.
This was like stuff that was like, it was like at the time it was really like never been done or whatever, where like in the stingers or post-credit scenes, what we were seeing stuff like linking up. We had Tony Stark popping at the end of the Hulk. At the end of the first Iron Man, Nick Fury shows up out of nowhere. He's all like, the Avengers Initiative. We're like, dude, there's no way he's gonna bring in and then we got Incredible Hulk. And then we got Iron Man 2. And then we got Captain America, the first Avenger, one of the fucking best solo fucking films ever. Oh, are you all right, buddy? You got your little paw stuck. My dog got his paw stuck. And what was the post-credit scene at the end of? He's in the future boxing. Nick Fury's all like, "Oh, you're an old man. You look pretty good for an old man."
You know what's crazy is like because they put those cutscenes in from the beginning. It's not like they remastered them and then put them in later. Like they had their whole plan to do the Avengers the whole time.
And, like the cutscene at the end of Iron Man 2 was Agent Coulson finds Thor's hammer just chilling by and no one can lift it. It's like Excalibur type shit, you know, like no one can pull it out from the stone or whatever.
Yeah, because it's just Mjolnir and then like a pillar of earth underneath it where like whatever the force is that holds it, it's just holding all that shit together because they tried to dig around it to get everything out.
Yeah, they couldn't do it.
That was great. Oh, wait, did we talk about Thor?
We did a little bit. Like I talked about the Donald Blake. They had the Donald Blake reference. Like we didn't talk about the princess known as Kat Dennings. We didn't talk about her at all. The lovely goddess.
That beautiful motherfucker. Kat Dennings didn't have a huge role in the first one.
No, she was there. She was just Jane Foster's sidekick.
Yeah.
And
she was just off to the side. And then after that, like her social media or whatever, like the press on her just went out of control. Because like Natalie Portman didn't need press. She's Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård doesn't really need press. He's famous and all of his sons are famous. Yeah. Chris Hemsworth is Chris Hemsworth. Like they didn't need any help. But Kat Dennings, like her career went.
Yeah, because before that she was just on like what was that? Two Broke Girls. Like maybe some other stuff that nobody knows about. You know,
like B-list movies.
Yeah,
she probably was in a bunch of like the national, like the B-list National Lampoon remakes and stuff like that. I would see her in those like the irreverent comedies that might not have ever made it to the big screen. But I didn't care for the first Thor movie all that much.
I mean, I don't like any Thor movies except for the third and fourth one.
Ragnarok and Love and Thunder.
The two that get the most hate. Those are my two favorites.
Yeah, I mean, like the first two were okay. I don't rewatch. I have rewatched them, but when I'm going to watch all these movies in order, which I do like once a year, I'm on my phone most of the time for the Thor movies until we get to Ragnarok, and then Love and Thunder was just wild. Whatever the guy's name, Takai Waititi or however you pronounce his name.
Takai with I don't know how to say it anymore either. I used to, and then you just scrambled my brain a little bit.
He did a good job. He turned it into a comedy instead of just like this Greek mythological boring just a retelling of, I don't know. They try to make it too serious when it's a funny book. It's a comic book, like
that's a bunch of stuff that I see a lot of complaints for the MCU. They say it's too quippy. They say it like everyone is funny. Everyone has a sense of humor. Like everyone's too quippy, and I'm all like, have you ever read a comic book?
Yeah, have you ever read a Marvel comic book? Because like that's all it is.
Yeah,
not all it is, but everybody's sarcastic. Everybody's got jokes.
Yeah. Even in like the first X-Men movie, it gets silly where they're all like, "How do we know it's you, Wolverine, and not Mystique?" And he gives fucking gives Scott the finger with his middle claw.
Yeah, I mean that's how the comic books are. But most of the people that watch these movies have never read a comic book in their life.
Yeah.
And don't go read the comic books afterwards. They're just like, oh, these movies are great. Because they can stand alone. You don't need to know what's going on in the comic books to watch the movies.
Right.
But it is nice when we get our little Easter eggs of like the stories that they pull it from.
Yeah, because I'll be sitting there like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, he's got it.
That's that scene.
I do the same thing, man. Well, I just did that with some comic books, because like with the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, how it's go away, where it's the death of Green Goblin. Yeah. I have well, I don't have the original. I have a facsimile print of that, and it's I'm just like, oh, they did pull this from like an old, like original, like Spider-Man comic book, and I was just like, holy shit, I know that. And then like the death of Gwen Stacy is the issue before that, because Mary Jane Watson doesn't exist yet, but the scene where like she dies in the comic book is where Green Goblin's got like the car, and Gwen Stacy, well, it's Gwen Stacy in the comic book, but it's MJ in the movie, and like lets them both go. That's how Gwen Stacy dies originally. Like they changed some of it around, but kept the original content for the most part.
It's so crazy. Like she's the only person to ever die from the whiplash of being saved by Spider-Man.
Yeah, all those New Yorkers where he's just like, don't die. And they're just like, oh, big Spider-Man. And she just got the structural integrity of like dry pasta and just dead.
How they did it in the Andrew Garfield movie made a lot more sense. Like she didn't die from the whiplash, but she cracked her head on the like he saved her at the last minute. And they even did the cheesy thing where making the web look like this as like a hand reaching out to her and shit. Dude, it was cool.
That was cool. That was cool. That's a super comic book thing too.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. But yeah. I love that stuff where they put it in the movies. But the Avengers was great. We got Loki.
We got Loki.
One of the characters that I didn't think was going to get as much fame as he did, who is now on season 2, episode
2 of his own television show. Yeah, like I remember like all the chicks just loving Tom Hiddleston after the first Avengers, just loving Loki. When I was all like, dude, his hair's just long and greasy. Now my hair's long and greasy.
Oh, so you're trying something.
Trying something new.
Yeah, Loki was great. The character development that we get with him throughout his life in the MCU is fantastic, because at first he's just this chaotic, neutral person, to use Dungeons and Dragons terms, because he wasn't evil, he wasn't good, he was just for himself. Like he had his own motives, and he did whatever he needed to do to get them done.
Yeah, and he was smart enough to know that he's not strong enough or cunning enough to defeat Thanos. So he's like, might as well just work for the guy, dude.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't beat him, join him.
Because wasn't Thanos fighting Hulk without even using the Power Stone in Infinity War or Endgame? Or wasn't it? Or no, Infinity War.
Yeah, it would have been.
He came in the Asgard ship. Wasn't he fighting Hulk without even using the Power Stone?
Yeah, he was just bare knuckle boxing this dude.
That was an awesome fight.
That was so good, because like they were each getting their shots in, and then Thanos was just like, I don't know if I can do this.
But it showed like Thanos might be weaker than the Hulk, but he's a way more experienced fighter. And that's what gave him the edge, because he could dodge Hulk's shit, dude. Fucking get him. Like he was straight boxing, dude. He was
dude.
Like, well, Hulk is he's like more of like a wrestler or like a Hager. I don't know if he played like Streets of Rage or whatever. Like he was like Mayor Hager the Horrible. Like it just do it. Like he'll clothesline you type shit. Like Thanos is a straight
attack from the Hulk is a Hail Mary.
Yeah, it's like if Thanos was just straight fucking like Mike Tyson boxing motherfucker. Like boom, like.
And then he was just like, nope, can't do this. I'm gonna have to use a little bit of power here. But and that, not to go off topic, but like, and then that scene there where Loki tried to he was just like, we've worked together before, I will do this for you now. And then he's got like the dagger behind his back.
Yeah,
like that still just shows that like that part of Loki doesn't ever go away.
I mean, he does, because that Loki's dead now. The Loki we have now in the TV series is a variant off of a branch timeline when they went back in time to save everybody.
Right.
But this Loki knows his future because he watched it on the fucking TVA, like this is how your life is supposed to go. And he's all like, damn, dude, my mom's dead, my dad's dead, like everybody's dead. I'm dead. Like, no, I'm not dead. No, it's at the end right there. You're like,
I'm right here.
So when I saw the first Avengers in theaters, I was tired. I was falling asleep a lot. But I woke up at the scene with Hulk fucking slamming the shit, fucking Loki in Stark's fucking bar.
That was great. Dude, and
I was like, why am I sleeping? This is the best.
Tom Hiddleston in an interview was just like, for that scene, they had like a rope tied around his ankles. And he was just like, let me do the dialogue and you randomly pull my feet out from under me. So like he's talking and then whoever it was that had they picked when they wanted to drop him and they just pulled his feet out from under him. And then that's when Hulk was like ragdolling him.
That's so funny, dude. Like I would love to be one of those stagehands that day. I was all like, do I get to pull the rope? I get to do it.
I've been like, yeah. Yeah, I saw that years ago on a post on Facebook. I'm like, that's cool. He's like, I want the look in my face to be authentic. Like, I don't want to know when it's coming.
Yeah.
Which I love when studios do that. Like what they did with Darth Vader originally. Like the actor that's in the Darth Vader costume, while they were on set, he said, I don't remember exactly what it was that he said. Or he said, no, I killed your father. And then when they did James Earl Jones, only 2 people knew about it. Mark Hamill and there was one other person that knew that when the movie came out, it was going to say, no, I am your father. And the guy that played Darth Vader didn't even know that they were going to do it. He was kind of pissed that they didn't tell him.
Yeah, because he's just acting. James Earl Jones is doing the voiceover for him.
Right. But and he's saying all the lines while they're recording the movie.
Right.
It's not just him standing there and then like they just edit it all in later. Like he's acting his way through
it. I know he's just probably not mic'd or his mic is turned down a lot, so like they could do the voiceover because he's still got to be able to hear him to time the voiceover right and shit too.
Right. But yeah, no, I thought that was kind of funny. They even did that in How I Met Your Mother, the TV show. The 2 kids that play Ted's kids in the little cutscenes that Bob Saget's talking to. They knew from the beginning that the mom dies and that Ted ends up with Robin because they filmed all of those cutscenes all at once.
All at once because the kids never age.
Exactly. They wanted to get it done so they didn't get older because this story is only supposed to take, maybe an hour or 2. Like it's not supposed to be a 9-season long story IRL. So they knew about it and had to sign NDAs at like 16 and couldn't say shit for years.
Dude, if I was those kids, dude, I'd be all like, dude, just get to the point. You've been talking for 9 years.
They say that sometimes. They're like, is this story almost over yet? Like, what's going on here? And Bob Saget's like, you know what? No, it's not. I got quite a bit more to tell you.
I was like, dude, I got to get to class 3 hours ago, man.
Midterms have come and gone, and I'm still here.
Well, so goes my career.
But all right, back our tangents go all over the place.
So this is the second movie we get involved with. Like we learn more about Infinity Stones, but we don't know they're Infinity Stones yet. We just know this one as like the Tesseract.
Yeah, the term Infinity Stone hasn't been released yet.
And like you can tell like this shit's building up to so much. You get the post-credit stinger with Thanos, and he just smiles or whatever. Yeah. And this is before that Josh Brolin was even cast to be Thanos. Like we just had just like some regular dude in mocap suit and smiling.
Yeah, because he didn't say anything.
Yeah, he didn't say anything. And then when he does talk in the next time we see him, where he's like, "Fine, I'll do it." It's still not Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin isn't Thanos until Infinity War.
I didn't know that.
So
dude,
like,
Josh Brolin gets to be Thanos and Cable.
And Cable, dude. Yes. How do you get to be so lucky?
Well, right. Well, even like Oscar Isaac and Pedro Pascal, there's so many. They're like Oscar Isaac is Moon Knight, and he's in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And what else was he in? That's a part of Disney. Technically, he was in so much stuff, all within like the Marvel and Disney universe. Yeah. Like they just put him everywhere.
Pedro Pascal was the only reason Wonder Woman 1984 was tolerable.
I tried to watch Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, yesterday, and I fell asleep. Like it's like 20 minutes in, because I'm trying to go back. I'm trying to go watch some DC stuff.
Yeah.
Wait. And
yeah, it was Pedro Pascal in Wonder Woman, and then Ewan McGregor in the Harley Quinn movie fucking stole the fucking show, dude. Like,
I didn't know Obi-Wan was in Harley Quinn.
Yeah, dude, he plays Black Mask.
Was that Birds of Prey, or is it just Harley Quinn?
It's called Birds of Prey: The Emancipation of Harley of one Harley Quinn. It's got the longest fucking title ever.
Is it animated?
No.
Oh, so that's the Margot Robbie one.
Margot Robbie and Ewan McGregor plays Black Mask, and this dude is absolutely batshit crazy, and he's just having the time of his life.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen a lot of DC stuff, which with me being into comic books like I am and trying to have a pop culture channel and like hopefully own a comic book shop one day. Like I'm like, well, I should probably know about these characters. I should probably do a little more research. And the movies just ain't it. I think I'm gonna have to start like reading the books.
Yeah, I don't know. The movies do all right. They kind of butcher some characters. The Harley Quinn movie though, fucking Birds of Prey, Emancipation, combination of one Harley Quinn. Dude, like that movie, I gave it 3 out of 5 birds when I did my review for it.
3 out of 5 birds.
Yeah. Because there's 5 Birds of Prey, so I had to like if there was like when I did Sonic the Hedgehog, I think I gave that like I think I gave it like 5 out of 7 Chaos Emeralds. You know, like that's how I rate my movies.
About Sonic the Hedgehog real quick, because those movies were great.
Yeah.
Those movies completely captured the essence of what like the animated series was. They did such a good job.
Yeah. Idris Elba as Knuckles was cracking me up.
Oh, Idris Elba, yeah.
he's like that like a Drax type character where he's just like super serious, doesn't understand sarcasm. But
just that super like deep, just booming voice.
Those characters end up cracking me up the most. Like what's his name? Miguel O'Hara in Across the Spider-Verse. He's just
Spider-Man 2099.
And they're like some of the funniest scenes were him just like being super serious and like calling him out on being super serious.
Well, he's like that in the comic books too. He doesn't really have a funny bone.
Yeah.
Or at least from what I've read. I have not read all of 2099. I should. I have not.
I haven't either, but I know enough to get by.
Most of my knowledge on these characters has all been from MCU, because I didn't start reading comic books until this past year. And I've been able to bullshit my way through every comic book discussion since I was in high school, just based off the movies that I've watched and like the animated series.
So when I was a kid, me and my mom would ride the bicycle to Tomorrow Is Yesterday. which is now Top Cut Comics. Like this is like 94, 95 era, and I would collect the cards, the trading cards, dude. The 94 Fleer and Flair, and the 95 Flair Marvel cards, whatever. And on the back of the cards, they had snippets or whatever, and like of which issue, whatever this particular scene or whatever came from. And then you get a little quick backstory of the character or whatever, all on the back of the card. And that was my knowledge. And collecting action figures as a kid too, because I didn't know. I had some comics here and there, like I had the Separation Anxiety series when there's a bunch of symbiotes. Besides just Venom and Carnage, there's a bunch of them. Like there's like Toxin wasn't around yet, but there was a fuck, I can't even think of their names. But there's a bunch of them.
I vaguely remember that.
There was a Super Nintendo video game for it too, where Spider-Man and Venom team up, and you have to fight all these symbiotes. It's a good time. It's called Separation Anxiety. It's the sequel to Maximum Carnage.
I have to check it out. Dude, I love the Spider-Man video games. Everyone that I have played has been fantastic since like SNES.
Yeah, the Maximum Carnage, dude. It was a red cartridge, dude. It was cool. Like so, like that and like Doom were the only two games with a red cartridge.
That's cool. I always liked it when they did the different colored cartridges.
Yeah,
it didn't happen often.
You get a gold Zelda, you know. Like,
that's a good $400 nowadays.
Yeah. That's why everyone's making like reproduction cards now.
Yeah, which I mean, it's kind of the same thing in the comic book community with the facsimiles, where they're just reproducing the original, which is cool if you just want to like have it and like read it, and like I do. Do I have any of them? Yeah, like this one. Oh, this is the death of Green Goblin. Green Goblin's Last Stand. This is not an original. This is a facsimile, but
it just doesn't feel this. It just doesn't feel like it's the same. Right?
I get why they're doing it. I have a few different facsimiles, and I'll keep buying them as they come out. I'm really waiting for them to do an Amazing Fantasy 15 facsimile. I want that hanging up. I just want the picture hanging up in my house because I will never be able to afford that book.
Yeah, and it's such an iconic cover. Just the cover itself is so iconic. They've redone it on multiple other issues or whatever, and not only just Spider-Man, but like other people have been doing the same shit. Like that's such an iconic cover of him just saving the guy. Just like it's I think it's equally as iconic as the first Action Comics with Superman lifting up with the car or whatever, and the people are all like, oh, like on the ground, like,
Yeah, it's great. It's good stuff. Those covers from back in the day, like they all get rehashed.
Yeah.
Every last one of them. Like even the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man one, where he's like crouched down, like in the superhero position, has been redone so many times.
Yeah.
But it's good stuff.
It's good stuff. Dude, we got to get on more movies.
I know.
Avengers was a solid, like, this was like just dipping our toes into what's to come. Like we thought Iron Man, this is like boom. Then we get Iron Man 3.
Like, Iron Man 3. Well, like I know I've seen Iron Man 3, and I've seen it multiple times, but I can never, for the life of me, whenever anybody wants to talk about it, can't tell you what happens in the movie.
So, like, the beginning of the movie, dude, it's a trope in all these comic book movies. Probably not. It's usually a woman that does this trope or whatever, but this time it's a guy where he's a super nerdy guy. His hair's long and greasy and not done upright. He approaches Tony Stark in the elevator. And he's all like, guys, I got these ideas or whatever for this such and such. And then, like, Tony Stark, like, I think this, like, is a flashback before he was Iron Man.
Could be.
And so he ends up just, like, leaving dude on the roof and then, like, going back downstairs. Whatever, and he's, like, locked up there. And then, like, So now years and years, this dude has been plotting revenge, and he hires a guy to play the Mandarin, even though he's the real Mandarin or whatever.
Oh yeah, because the Mandarin turns out to not be.
Yeah, it was just an actor in a. It was just a guy. It was just a regular guy being an actor. And then this dude's got like nuclear fucking powers type shit, like Superman 4.
Here we got the trailer. We'll just show a little bit of that for it. Yeah, so here we got the Mandarin looking all like
he had his rings.
Oh yeah. Are those supposed to be like the rings from like Shang-Chi?
Yeah, so the Mandarin wore 10 rings on his fingers or whatever. And Shang-Chi, they turned it into bracelets for some reason.
I mean, it looked cool in the movie. It worked for what they were doing with it.
It looked awesome, but like, I really don't know what the Mandarin's rings do. But like, they're like, I don't know if they like each have something, but like he's super iconic for wearing the 10 rings on all of his fingers.
I don't really know anything about the Mandarin, but he's, I guess, in the comic book world, this huge villain that like dominates. Like he's just supposed to be this like crazy villain, and then he did not deliver on that in the movie at all.
So the dude that they have playing the fake Mandarin in this movie looks like he looks like how the Mandarin is supposed to look. Like a terrorist, fucking like this. And he's like, he looks all sinister and shit. Then you find out he's just like a fucking drunk actor. It was like, oh, it's so disappointing.
Yeah, I don't know. The movie was okay. Like, and once we start talking about it, I can kind of remember what happens.
But this trailer is super hype. It's like, damn, we're gonna get
the movie doesn't deliver on it.
Ugh. The trailer was so hype, and I was all like, yeah, bitch, Iron Man 3. The first two were stellar.
But see, the thing is they didn't have to put all their oomph in Iron Man anymore. They had so much other stuff to do because they just introduced the Avengers, which was the introduction to what would lead up to the multiverse. And like that's where they needed to focus. So now we need Civil War. We need all these big hits, these events to start happening to keep people's attention. We can't just focus on Tony Stark, fighting off single man villains anymore.
Yeah. So then that movie, like, I can't even talk about it too much because, like you said, it's so forgettable. And I don't know what came out.
People put it in their top 10 MCU movies.
And I don't know which came out next. I don't know if it was Thor 2 or Captain America 2.
I'm looking it up. In order of release, not chronological.
Yeah.
So we got Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Thor, Captain America. This is putting the TV shows in there too. So then
it's a Shield. Oh my God, you gotta watch it.
I know I have to, and I have the time right now, and I just haven't started it. So we just did Iron Man 3. The next movie is Thor: The Dark World.
Thor, dude, fuck this movie too.
This is the one where his sister comes back in, and they just have like this like battle because she's trying to get out of hell. Like she's mad that dad.
No, that's Thor 3.
I don't.
Thor 2. Thor 2 is they're fighting the elf creatures. This is Thor 2, The Dark World. They're fighting the elf creatures. Yeah. And Jane Foster has an Infinity Stone inside of her blood.
And she has to go to to Asgard.
Yeah.
And get it taken out of her. Okay.
Yeah, this is when Thor's mom dies and
that was terrible.
Yada yada yada. I mean, a bunch of cool stuff happens in this movie, but it's just so fucking boring at the same time.
It's like it reminds me like the fight scenes are cool. It's done well. It reminds me of a DC movie, man. Like
there's dark is in the title.
Yeah, like it's too serious. They took itself too seriously, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like the lighthearted stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the serious stuff too, but it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Marvel, for the most part, is something that's more relatable. It's not it's more like street level heroes. It's supposed to be not this God's living among us type universe.
I mean, we have those characters in Marvel, but like that's usually not who we focus on.
No, they're there, like the Captain Marvel. What is it? Sentry? Was that
Sentry and Hyperion? Sentry is a super interesting character, and he's finally getting
that well.
So Sentry is a character that believes he's been a superhero ever since like the Golden Age. Like he's teamed up with the Avengers, like all this shit, and nobody has any fucking memory of who he is. But he knows all the details of the fights and stuff he does. But people are like, no, like you weren't ever around here. Like what are you talking about? But like this dude's he's crazy. And a bunch of his books are drawn in like the old school like style or whatever, like when they're doing his flashbacks and stuff to like make it look like he was actually there in the old books.
Cool. I'm gonna have to, because I don't know anything about Sentry. He didn't get any adaptations in the MCU, did he? That I might have missed.
He's going to be soon.
Well, I'd imagine they would do something with him because we're doing Secret Wars now.
Yeah, he's gonna be in soon. I've seen it on Kevin Feige's timeline.
Yeah, as a movie or just like a cameo.
I think he might be getting his own movie, or he's gonna be part of the Thunderbolts. I don't know.
Let's see. I can spell it right. Sentry. No, not not insurance. There we go. MCU. Let's see. Thunderbolts is Steven Yeun playing Sentry in the MCU. So yeah, it would be Thunderbolts.
I knew it was something. I get my details mixed up, but
if they're doing it, it doesn't I also don't feel like poking through everything and looking for, but if the Thunderbolts movie gets made, that's where Sentry is going to be.
Yeah, okay.
But I hope they kind of do because we have She-Hulk, we have all of these other characters. We just need Captain Britain, and we need to be able to do West Coast Avengers or Avengers West Coast or whatever it's called. Like these other little things that have tie-in.
I think we can finally get Captain Britain now because I think he's technically a mutant because he's related to Psylocke. I think him and Psylocke are cousins.
I don't know. I've only ever heard of Captain Britain within the last couple of months. Didn't know he was a thing.
Captain Britain.
He's never been in the movies.
I think we're allowed to have him now in the movies, and that'd be sick. Because like everything so far, we're either in America. There was that fucking. We were in Johannesburg, Africa. We're either in America or Africa. It seems like
they had the opportunity to bring in Captain Britain in Spider-Man: Far From Home, but we got Mysterio instead. Which Mysterio is a great character.
Mysterio was fantastic. The way they did him was amazing. We're not there yet.
No, we're not there yet. But that would have been where they could have introduced Captain Britain,
or at least like a Brian Braddock cameo.
Yeah, just something. Just have him like in the background, like.
Ugh.
But that's not what we got. Okay, where's my chronological order. All right, so we're on
Thor, but like, dude, like, let's go to the better movie of Captain America 2.
Yes. Dude, I was so happy with all of the Captain America movies. For him being my least favorite.
Yeah. I feel the exact same way.
I love his movies.
I feel the exact same way. But he's got the best run.
He really does. It's the most consistently good.
And then even Falcon and the Winter Soldier, for the most part, followed in like the same direction of just being fun. Like spy, thriller, espionage, fucking type shit, dude. And so it was good.
Yeah, so in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, he's hunting down. He's got rumors, not real confirmation yet. He got rumors that Bucky's still alive.
Yeah,
and that he may or may not be the Winter Soldier. And this is a great movie because it leads up to my favorite Captain America, Civil War, where they actually go try to save him.
I liked all the twists or whatever, like Hydra infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. And like there's like in the very beginning when he just like jumps out of the plane without a parachute, and the dude who eventually plays Crossbones is all like, he's like, yeah, dude, like he just did that.
They just and the thing is like, yeah, these guys are technically superheroes, but they're just really strong humans. Like, they don't have actual superpowers. They can run really fast, and they can punch really hard.
Yeah.
And that's it. And they make some of the best action scenes, fight scenes throughout the whole MCU.
Yeah, dude, Falcon's just a regular dude.
Yeah, he's in a flight suit. That's it.
He's just a regular dude. I don't like we always think Black Widow is just a regular person. We find out later on that she's kind of like, she was raised in like
she was raised like Elektra, dude. Like, she was out in like this shrine somewhere in the middle of nowhere, learning to be an assassin since she was like 4 years old.
Yeah,
like, she's not a regular person. Sam's
a regular person.
Is literally just a retired soldier who met Captain America. Yeah. And he was just like, yo, dog, why don't you come play around with us?
Captain America's like, this dude's got heart.
Oh, yeah, and they're racing where they're just like jogging around the park.
Yeah, on your left.
Fucking thinks in his head that he was just like, oh, yeah, no, I'm going to beat this guy. There's no fucking way. And Steve's just lapping him.
He's like, dude, you just ran fucking like 10 miles in 10 minutes, dude.
And then he was just like, yeah, same time next week. And Sam's about to throw up from... Which that was kind of a little creepy thing that they did there, because like they parted ways, and Steve, I don't remember exactly what he was doing, but he was just like, I need to have somebody come along with me for this mission to go like find Bucky. And he thinks, I'm going to find the guy that couldn't beat me in a foot race running around Washington, D.C., and I'm going to invite him into this, what then would become his career, and have him join the Avengers. And he's like standing outside of his house, and he like knocks on his window, and was just like, Sam! And Sam, what the fuck are you doing here, dog?
Dude, and like all like the first mission he goes on, he's not even in like a full suit, dude. He's wearing like a backpack with wings. You know, like, he's got the prototype on, like towards the end of the movie. And like,
man, you can't give him the bells and whistles before he earns them, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The only character that got everything first up was War Machine. He didn't have to earn that. He didn't have to earn all the crazy stuff, because he was actually Rhodes was Iron Man for a while, and then they just gave him the War Machine suit.
Yeah.
So I guess he did technically earn it.
War Machine was always cooler to me than Iron Man, anyways. Like, I don't know if you ever played Marvel vs. Capcom.
maybe once or twice.
Dude, it was. I think it was Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I had it for Dreamcast. And if you pick Iron Man, War Machine, and Cable, and you get all three of them motherfuckers out at the same time, well, your opponent has all their people out at the same time, and you do your level 5 triple combo, they all just bring in the freaking like big ass beams, and you can wipe out the whole fucking team in one hit type shit.
That's rad. No, if it was on Dreamcast, I definitely haven't played it. I don't think I've played Dreamcast at all. I wasn't a video game kid. I mean, like I played like Mortal Kombat and like what was that 007 game?
GoldenEye.
Hold on. I mean, I played video games growing up, but never it was always like secondhand stuff. Like we got the N64 when the PS2 came out and had maybe a handful of cartridges for it. My brother was the gamer. Was not me.
That's how I was. Like, I think I still was playing my Super Nintendo when Nintendo 64 came out. Then it was like a couple years later, I got a Nintendo 64, like, once the price dropped down, you know?
Yeah. Like, we got our PS2 when the PS3 came out. when the PS3 Slim came out, that's when we got our PS2. But I didn't care. I was just like, hell yeah, I'm going to play Tony Hawk all day.
Dude, we found out you could play emulators and stuff on Dreamcast. Like, all you had to, like, so, like, you put in this, like, boot disc. And it's the boot disc was so crazy, dude. Like, it would have, it'd be like Santa Claus just, like, sitting there or whatever, and it'd be playing Christmas music. And, like, the boot disc just has to launch. And then you open up the disc tray, you pull the disc out, and then you put in your disc with all your emulator, all your ROMs and stuff on it. And it's like, boom, I'm playing Super Nintendo on my Dreamcast, and I can save the games on the memory card.
That's cool. That's probably why Dreamcast didn't last very long. It was around for a while, but
it was the most superior console at launch.
That's crazy that they did that, because I know like N64 had you couldn't play like other games on it, but they had like Game Shark, where you would like put the cartridge in and then you would put your game on top of it, and it would have like all the cheat codes and stuff in it, and you would just have to like link it up.
Yeah,
that was cool.
That was super. I think every system ended up with the Game Shark. Like the PlayStation 1, you have to plug into the memory card slot.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do it. Back in my day, we had the Game Genie. It was the same thing. Like you plug the Nintendo cartridge into the thing, and then you plug that into the thing. Your game you can't push your game down now because it's sticking out of the thing. But you only had to push your game down just to like secure it or whatever. It's still plugged into the pins, you know. Mm-hmm. But then with Game Genie, you could only do 3 cheat codes for a game, and it came with like a big ass booklet, so you had to like punch in a code to activate the cheat code type shit. It was super like it was super,
sounds like a lot of work.
It was the only way like some of those games were even beatable. You needed Game Genie to do.
They made games back then so hard for no reason.
Well, they wanted you to keep playing them.
You couldn't just go to GameStop and buy the walkthrough or look it up on YouTube. Like you had to figure it out or quit. Like,
you had to figure it out, or you had to like talk to somebody at recess, you know, like that did beat it. Or
Uncle sits at home and plays the games all the time. Be like, what does Uncle Tony do during this pod? Again, off topic, but that's fine.
Dude, I don't know. This Captain America movie is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
So good.
It was. I thought the first one was amazing, and this one just stepped it up.
It really did. They continued to do that. Well, I wouldn't say continue to. There's only one more Captain America movie,
but like stuff that happens in this Captain America movie directly affect events that later on happen in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like at the time, it wasn't officially part of the MCU or whatever. Like Kevin Feige didn't want to touch it or whatever. But it was Joss Whedon's brother, Jed Whedon, that was like the showrunner for it. And he made sure that like stuff that happened in the movies would directly affect stuff that happened in the show.
Which only makes sense because why wouldn't it?
So like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., dude, S.H.I.E.L.D. gets compromised by Hydra and all this stuff. And like you get to see more behind the scenes of how it happened type stuff with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It wasn't until like the last couple seasons where something happened to where like they ended up going back in time, whatever, and they kind of like retcon it to like it at beginning it did take place in the MCU main timeline, but then later on it branched off into its own thing, like towards like the last couple seasons.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I've seen a handful of episodes, like just like being like I used to live in Indiana and those guys watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I was kind of like, I don't watch Marvel TV shows. What? On Fox? Because it was on like ABC or NBC.
It was on ABC,
like
yeah.
Yeah. Like, what do these guys know about comic books? What do these guys know about superheroes? It turns out it's one of the best running TV series of like all time. Like people that have never watched a superhero movie or read a comic book watch the show.
If you love Phil Coulson, Clark Gregg.
His first name is Agent. Okay.
If you like the actor Clark Gregg in general, and you're just a Phil Coulson fan, this is where you get it all. Dude, Ming-Na Wen, the chick who played Chun-Li in the Street Fighter movie.
I haven't seen it. Oh wait, I might have.
Ming-Na Wen, dude, she looks fucking so hotter as an older woman than she did as Chun-Li back in the day. And she's badass. Like she's like Phil Coulson's right hand, dude. And fucking she does the heavy lifting. Well, fucking Coulson does all the sass. You know,
he's so sassy. I'll have to watch. Maybe I'll do that tonight.
Dude, it's so good. The chick who plays Sky, that's your name. The chick who plays Sky, she's like, dude, she's two characters. Like later she finds out her real name is Daisy. And Daisy's super cool. Daisy's like an inhuman with like earthquake powers. But Sky was way cooler, dude, because she got introduced to the show just by like living in her van and being a hacker and hacking into S.H.I.E.L.D. computers and shit, dude. I think that's a way more interesting and cooler character than a fucking inhuman with earthquake powers.
I don't know. I'll have to watch it to have an opinion. But I like those characters like that were like the hacker. Because like in what was it? Live Free or Die Hard. It was one of the Die Hard movies. Like they brought this dude in that was hacking into like NASA or like the FBI or whatever it was. Like he was just hacking into their computers, and it's this dude in his basement with like 1 billion screens, and he's just. And then instead of arresting him, they just like grab him. It's just like, oh, if you're able to do that, we need you to come work for us. Those characters are great.
And I liked it. Like she was like homeless, like living in her van. And she'd like change her alias up, whatever. Like, she was like a Neo, but like not in the Matrix. Like, you know, she was just like a Neo type fucking character that was just like hacking shit.
Man, I'm gonna have to watch it because it's gonna keep coming up.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we'll do a whole freaking episode just on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, I mean, we could branch off and do the TV series because there's S.H.I.E.L.D., Daredevil, Loki, WandaVision, all the little one shots and stuff.
Netflix shows,
like Agent Carter and
that. Oh, dude, Agent Carter. I think it only had 2 seasons, but like that shit was super fair. It was like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it took place way back in the 40s and shit, dude. It was so dope. And you had the dude who played Howard Stark in the first Iron Man or the first Captain America movie coming back as Howard Stark in this show. Like and he's so good. He ended up starring.
They change that actor too?
Huh?
Didn't they change the actor for Howard Stark?
Yeah. This is like young man Howard Stark, like in his like 20s, you know, like they make him an older man because like it wouldn't even make sense. Your dad knew Captain America during World War II. It should have been your grandpa, you know.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Depends on how old Howard was when Tony was born. Because when they do that quick flashback in Endgame, was it Endgame where they went back? Yeah, Endgame where they went to go get all the Infinity Stones, and Tony runs into his dad. Like the guy that plays Howard in that, like Tony hasn't been born yet. His mom's still pregnant.
He's like his wife just got pregnant type shit. Like,
yeah, he's like in his late 40s, early 50s. Like he's old.
He's older. He's older. But I love the OG Howard Stark actor a lot, dude. Like he ended up fucking starring in one of my favorite comic book series of all time. They made Seth Rogen made a show for it on AMC called Preacher. I don't know if
I've seen a couple episodes of Preacher.
So like that dude who plays Jesse Custer, the main character, that's Howard Stark, dude. Like that dude is amazing. I love that dude so much. You can't even tell he's British.
Well, that's just like it was a lot of actors hide their accent. Like I guess why can I not remember? Chris Evans. He's got a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
Like there's an interview where like he's talking and it just kind of like slips out a little bit and he catches it and reels it back in and he's like, no. You can't let them know.
And like Tom Holland did a really good job of changing his accent to sound like more East Coast American.
And Andrew Garfield, that guy's British as fuck. Had no idea until I saw an interview for No Way Home. And I'm like, I didn't know he was British until the No Way Home
funny
stuff came out and they were all talking to each other. I was just like, is he playing with me?
It was shocking when I found out too. Because like I've been a fan of this dude since that Facebook movie, his Social Network. I was like, dude, this dude. Oh, dude, that movie is awesome.
I heard it was really good.
Yeah, he plays like Mark Zuckerberg's like best friend.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Which I think, I know Tobey Maguire got, there's like halfway confirmed rumors that he will be coming back for like the Secret War stuff. So maybe we'll get Andrew Garfield too. Maybe we'll finally get the third movie, the third actual movie for Andrew Garfield. It's kind of bogus he didn't get one.
There's been talks about both, like a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4 and an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man 3.
I want them. I want them. and Sam Raimi has to do the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4. Just has to. You can't change the tone of those.
Yeah, so there's been
selling hot dogs. You know what I mean?
There's been heavy Sony rumors. I think Sony's going to keep holding on to Spider-Man's rights.
It's never going to let go. They're going to be like, you got to pay us all this money. You can do whatever you want with the character in your movies. That's fine.
You just got to give us a check. Because the Spider-Man franchise on its own, outside of like just Marvel, has so many toys in its toy box. You got like you got Silver Sable, you got a bunch of villains like Hammerhead, Jinx. I think Punisher technically exists in Spider-Man's toy box. His first appearance was in Spider-Man.
Spider-Man and Punisher have crossovers constantly.
Yeah. I remember in the cartoon when Punisher came in for the first time, like he was hunting Spider-Man, because he was falsely accused of like being a jewel theft.
Yep. And he was going to kill him.
And then there was another episode later on after Mary Jane, after Green Goblin sent Mary Jane through that fucking portal to like send her to Limbo. Her aunt hired Punisher to track down Peter Parker because she thought he had something to do with her disappearance. Dude, just imagine, dude, just like on that. Just imagine being a regular dude being hunted by Punisher.
Yeah, Punisher was on that stuff, and he was a cool looking character. Like,
yeah,
I wasn't a huge fan of it. It's a little too like, again, it's a little too nitty gritty for me. But like, Punisher was cool.
Pull up the Spider-Man animated series version of him. He looked so cool. Yeah, look at this dude. Look at this dude.
Just this gritty, like you could tell that like he was a cop that like just was a little too the Amazing Spider Punisher. What?
That's sick.
I'm gonna have to add that to my pull list. I want that. Yeah, the Punisher was cool. And what I think is really funny about the Punisher is all these bootlickers, all these like guys are putting Punisher skulls on their lifted trucks and their military T-shirts, and the Punisher killed cops for funsies.
Oh, dude, if Punisher was real, dude, those would be like his first targets. It's just like shooting everybody's truck that has like the skull on it, or
all of them have pipe bombs in their fucking windows, dude. Every last one of them.
He's like, my first order of business is fucking shooting all these fucks in the head.
Like, get rid of these morons. The world doesn't need you anyways.
He'll walk past a motherfucker just fucking smoking weed or smoking crack in the middle of the street. He'll walk past that dude just to shoot the fucking person with the skull T-shirt on.
Right, he'll be like, you just stay there and do what you're doing. I'll be right back. Oh, yeah, Captain America was great. And then after that, it leads into probably my favorite of the actual MCU, because Spider-Man will always be number one, but Guardians of the Galaxy. This is where we get Marvel Comics on the big screen. This is where we get what the comic books are like. The sarcasm, the tragedy, the jokes, the horror. We get everything.
And this is another thing Marvel did as at its start is we're gonna pull in fucking some unknown characters. You know, like I knew who the Guardians were. I had the first issue of Guardians, but I also seen them
in actual first one where none of them were those characters.
I've seen them in other cartoons or whatever too. Like I was familiar with Rocket. I was familiar with Groot. The Peter Quill in the cartoons. I mean, after this movie's made, they make they make their own Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon that's based on these characters. But
yeah, because these are different than the comic book ones. Like, because Groot could talk before.
Groot could talk. Yondu was Yondu was one of the original members of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's on the cover of issue 1.
Yeah, they really changed them up for this movie.
And in the comics, Yondu didn't have like the whistling arrow thing, dude. He was just like a blue dude with a fin on his head, and he was an archer. Like that's it. Huh.
I haven't read any of those for like Guardians of the Galaxy, but I've been reading now some Rocket Raccoon and Rocket and Groot adventures.
But like, I think it was the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. You get introduced to the Guardians of the Galaxy. They come in. Star-Lord is like an actual like serious fucking dude. Like he's not all like jokey and quick. Like this dude's like super serious on the mission. Like someone who's like capable of being a leader.
So do you think it's an Ultimate Spider-Man?
I think it was an Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh yeah, here we go. Share this tab instead. Wow, Groot looks dumb.
See, that's Star-Lord in the middle there.
Yeah. What did they do to my boy Groot? And why does Rocket have like a Fu Manchu, bro?
And I think Nova is part of the Guardians, because Nova in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, it's Spider-Man and he leads a team of other heroes. He's working for SHIELD and he's leading a team of other teenage heroes. Like he works with Iron Fist, Luke Cage, White Tiger, and Nova. But apparently this Nova was also, like, not only is he part of Nova Corps, but he's also, I think he was also part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but he left to join SHIELD and Spider-Man's Web Warriors.
I'll have to watch that too. That should all be on Disney Plus. I can actually watch those.
Yeah. I think it's a good show. Like Peter Parker, Spider-Man, he breaks the fourth wall a lot. But
which is one of my favorite things in any format. I don't care if it's comic books or like Wayne's World. I love a fourth wall break.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of people gave this show a lot of shit, dude. I really enjoyed it. I don't know. It's Spider-Man though too. Like even though I didn't watch the series that took place after that. I didn't really care for it. They made him like way too dorky. You know, like Spider-Man, like Peter Parker is like a smooth ass pimp. It just doesn't know that he is. You know, like
not really though. Like if you read the old Spider-Man stuff, Peter Parker is a knob. He is a complete dweeb when he is not in the suit. The suit is what gives him all the confidence, and as soon as that comes off, he's back to just being the dorky scientist that he is. It's not.
Yeah, but like even in like the like early like cartoons and like movies and stuff, they made it seem like he was like an outcast, had no friends or whatever, and that's never been like dude's always had like a tight like friendship with his like people and whatever. Like he was never like socially awkward.
Strong disagree, at least from what I've read, because like he didn't have like friends. Like he had like this group of people that like was with him throughout his like high school and college career that I guess you could consider them friends, but like it was just the same group of people that made fun of him for 6 years. Like they always invited him to the parties and all of that stuff, but the only one that I think ever really got the kinship with was Flash. And even still,
like he was always homies with Harry. He was always homies with like Felicia Hardy and like all these other people. Like even when he got the job at Daily Bugle, dude, fucking Betty Brant's always hitting on him.
That's like, true. That's true.
Like, dude,
I forgot all about Black Cat.
Like I would say, like Peter Parker, like he's capable of being like a smooth ass pimp, dude. Like he's handsome, like he's super strong, whatever. He's like he's one of the smartest people on the planet. Like he could be a smooth ass pimp if he wanted to, but he just doesn't know what he's capable of.
And we kind of get that in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, he was super. Like I remember watching the movie with the first one with a buddy, and like how he's like just like skateboarding and being like super cool and shit. They're like, when was Peter Parker ever cool? Well, I was like, he's always been cool. What are you talking about?
He was dweeby up until I would give you like the mid to late 80s.
Okay.
He was real dweeby up until then. Like, because like in the original stuff, he still had glasses when he didn't have the Spider-Man suit on.
Yeah.
But he's always been my favorite.
He had that shitty fucking haircut too. Like once he started growing his hair out a little bit, it was all like boom, and that jawline came out. Like I was all like, all right.
Yeah, when they started, and that would have been late 80s, 90s ish era when they had to like they had to revamp some of these characters to make them a little more relatable in like the modern world. And they did a good job. Spider-Man is going nowhere. Guardians of the Galaxy, man.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I said, like this was Marvel pulling out fucking characters that most people were not familiar with.
They had no idea who any of them were.
Any of.
This was our first real introduction to Thanos, too.
Yes.
This is where this was like the actual, like, this is who we're going to be fighting. This is the guy.
Yeah. And like the scenes with like Nebula and Gamora, like they actually make him feel like he is like he's a threat. And with Drax, it's all like, I want to kill this dude. He killed my whole family. Like, I'm gonna fuck this dude up. Like, he's like, I'm gonna like, and they're all like arguing about like who's gonna be the one to kill Thanos. Even though they're not even fighting Thanos yet, they're fighting Ronan. And like,
was just a fantastic character. And I love the guy that they got to play him. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's in the Hobbit movies. He plays the King of the Wood Elves. And he's super intimidating, and like that his voice is just fantastic. Like he was great. I love Ronan's character.
He's good. But this movie brought in so much. Like as soon as you said Guardians of the Galaxy, I was just gonna be like, dun 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 dun.
They did matter. So good with this movie. Come and get your love. It was so good, man. You got the lightheartedness mixed in with like the tragedy that's actually going on. You get the sarcastic quips. You get you get fight scenes. You get characters having their own personalities and it clashing together. Like not everybody's on the same page. There was conflict throughout the whole movie.
Did you watch the Guardians Christmas special?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
It was dumb, but I loved it. And they stole Kevin Bacon.
I have a good connection with Kevin Bacon myself. I was in Footloose in high school. Like we did a Footloose musical in high school. I was in it. I wasn't anybody important. My character had 2 lines. But either way, I was in that shit.
Hey, you got a speaking part. Said, hey, you got a speaking part.
Exactly.
I never liked Footloose. Like I might have been too old when I finally watched it for the first time. And I've
never seen the movie. I've never seen the movie.
I don't like it. If I'm gonna watch a movie about dancing, I'm gonna watch Dirty Dancing.
No, but this is about how dancing's illegal.
Yeah, I know. And then like he's just like in a garage, just like, oh my gosh,
the warehouse scene
saved the town with dance. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like it didn't work for me. It didn't work for me.
I've never seen the movie. I know the musical.
The musical honestly would make more sense for how flamboyant this movie was.
Yeah. And I guess our musical was so good that we had to go perform it at the Illinois Theater Fest.
Really?
So we'd like tear down our set, dude, and like put it into a bus and then go set that shit up. And it was a condensed version of our set.
Right.
But like we had like people like donate shoes or whatever. And like we put lights in the shoes and and drilled them to like their Footloose sign, so there was like it was like light up Footloose, but like with shoes and stuff. It was so cool.
That's really cool, dude. Some high school drama departments really do a good job sometimes. Like they actually have like a leader that is into it for that has the passion for the medium and just really drives it home.
Yeah, dude. At Auburn, dude, we learned how to build like really awesome sets, dude. It was super cool.
Auburn was just that school though, because they had all the advanced placement programs and the artistic programs where like they would like recruit people from other high schools and middle schools, be like, oh, you like to play music or you like to act or sing or anything like that, come to Auburn. They weren't like Boylan where they paid them to come to school, but they were just like, no, come here. We got you. We got gifted programs.
Guilford had our tech crew come in to build their Jesus Christ Superstar set.
Really?
Or at least I don't know. We built the whole thing, but we did show them like how to like use a screw gun and like how to like build like structures and shit.
Auburn stole my band teacher right before my senior year, and I was pissed.
I was already gone by then.
Fresh out of college, thinks she knows everything, whatever type of teacher. I was mad. I was big mad.
Oh,
but yeah, dude, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then
with all the Guardians. So like you were talking about how it brought in like the heart, the silliness, the drama, like, and I think all three of the Guardians movies, including the Christmas special, all bring it in like that. Just like on different ways though. Like the first one was like a Gamora, Drax, Nebula story that just happens to have Peter Quill being the leader of the team, whatever. Right. The second one was like a Peter story, and then the third one was Rocket's story. And I think it all.
The last one we're getting,
huh?
And the third one's the last one we're getting. At
of
least
that team. Drax. Of that team.
Yeah, they're gonna split. Well, because like in the Avengers movie, spoiler alert if you haven't seen all of them, because like Thor teams up with them, and like in the third one, like Peter takes off and goes back to Earth.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So and Thor, I guess, is gonna come in.
It's said Star-Lord will return, and then so we got this new Guardians team at the end of the third one. We're not even there yet, but like we got a new Guardians team. Fucking, we got Giga Chad Groot.
Yeah, dude. Like, what did they do with Groot? Because like he was already full grown in the first one, and he's just this tall, slender man looking tree. And I don't know how old he was either at that point. Because like the Groot people like live forever. Yeah. They're like eternal beings.
But the Groot, so the Groot that we have at the end of the first Guardians, it's not the same Groot. It's like Groot's child. This is Groot's child. That also is Groot.
Because like he dies.
Yeah, he literally dies, and like somehow he turns us like the rest of his remaining energy into like a sapling.
I thought that was just like how Groot's stayed alive forever. I mean, because like it confused the shit out of me that once we got like adult Groot and he's like jacked, bro. I'm like, what? What is going on here?
Like in the Christmas special, dude, he's got the big ass chin. You know, yeah. He's jacked and shit. Like, who is this? Did they got Vin Diesel in the costume?
I don't know what they're doing with Groot, but we'll get a Groot movie. It'll happen.
We have the animated Groot shorts.
Those are funny.
Those are fun.
I love them. I was thinking that was going to be like an actual like series, and I was like super excited when it came out last year. And like I sat down, I like ordered pizza, and I was just like going to have like a day of it, and it took me like a half an hour to get through all of them.
They're all like 6 minutes long or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, they're good, but I was kind of hoping for a TV show.
Dude, one of my favorite ones was the one where like the little people are like worshiping him as like a god, and he like accidentally kills them. He's like going out of his way to help him out, and then he accidentally steps on him or whatever.
And then moves the rock back over him, and he's just like, "Oh shit, I'm out of here."
Oh my goodness, it was too silly.
It was very silly. Or like where he was like taking the spa bath in the magic mud. And then like he woke up and he's got like all the plants growing out of him, and he starts like going super drag with it and like putting himself in dresses and with long hair, being all pretty and everything. And he freaks out because there's no more mud. He's just, oh, my beauty, it's gone. And that squirrel's in the tree just laughing at him.
That's what squirrels do, dude. Squirrels are assholes.
Dude, they're the worst people on the face of the earth.
I speed up when I see him crossing the road.
Like those old insurance commercials where the squirrel's just like standing there, like looking at the car and doesn't move, and it causes the car accident.
And then they fist bump each other. And,
got him.
That's real life. That is real life.
But in the whole point of the story for Guardians of the Galaxy, they are going after Ronan, and this is where
they're actually not even going after anybody. They're more or less on the run because they have the Infinity Stone.
And this is where we get the first Infinity Stone, technically. Like, this is our first mention of Infinity Stones, because they go to the Collector with the
Benicio
orb, right?
del Toro, dude. Yes.
He is so good. For his quick little whatevers he has in the movies, like, he did a fantastic job with that role.
So do you know that the Collector and Jeff Goldblum's character in Thor 3, they're brothers?
That makes sense.
They're brothers, and I forget which series it was. Contest of Champions. In Marvel's Contest of Champions, both of them are going against each other, and they're kidnapping Marvel characters to fight each other. There's it's a game they do like every like few hundred years or so, like type shit to see like who is like gonna be the Collector or whatever. I forget the whole story of it, but basically they just go out of their way to kidnap everybody from Marvel to have them fight against each other. And see, like, whoever wins is the superior brother type shit.
Dude, I like that story too. Well, not that specific one, but that like type of story, because like that's have you ever seen the movie? You had to have seen it. Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy.
Long time ago, yes.
Yeah, because like the two bankers are just like, what would happen if we put this man from money on the street with no money, and the man from the streets with no money into all the money? And they have this like bet, and it's for $1. $1 single you find out at the end of it. And they just like completely fuck with these two people's lives. They ruin Dan Aykroyd's life and make Eddie Murphy's life way better, all for $1 for their own like petty differences.
Those dudes are also the homeless men in Coming to America.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I just watched that the other day. A buddy of mine had seen it, and I'm like, oh, we're watching this. It's such a good movie. I did not watch Coming to America. I haven't seen the sequel yet.
I think I did watch it. Arsenio Hall is like not even aged.
Well, Eddie Murphy really hasn't either. I mean, like, you could tell he's gotten older, but not really. He's just a little chubbier. Remember, like, he's gotten older.
Exactly the same. Like it's just like watching Bad Boys. Like, you watch fucking Bad Boys 1 and 2, and then you go and watch Bad Boys 3. Will Smith looks exactly the same. Fucking Martin Lawrence got old and fat.
And then
Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the best movies ever made. Hands down.
It was. I always say top 5 movies, and then like there's more than 5 movies in my top 5 movies. This is one of them.
People do honorable mentions now.
No, I don't do honorable mentions. I just keep saying top 5 movies over probably the course of like 15 films. It's just how it works. Because it is. It's a top 5 movie. It should be a top 5 movie for anybody that's into this type of stuff. It is a perfect movie. Like, they hit all the notes. They hit the happy. They hit the sad. They make you feel for these characters. Like, they make you giggle. They make you cry. Like it's a perfect movie.
I cried in Guardians 3 like too many times.
I surprisingly did not. But I think it was because because I didn't watch it like as soon as it came out. And so many people were just like, oh, I cried. Oh, I cried. Oh, I cried. It's so sad.
You were prepared to not cry.
No, I was prepared to cry. I was like, okay. And then I guess they just oversold it. I don't know. The only movie in the MCU that I actually like shed a tear for was Endgame. And we'll get to that on another episode, because we still got a lot more to cover. Yeah, Endgame got me. But I also saw that in theaters. Like, I think I saw it like opening weekend. So there wasn't, I mean, there was still hype because it's Endgame. Like it's the culmination of everything we've been doing the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I cried for that one.
I don't think I cried in Endgame, but where I freaking was like crying like every few minutes was Across the Spider-Verse. And I saw this movie twice in theaters. The first time I saw it, I was tripping on acid.
Well, that'll do it.
I was crying. But I saw it the second time sober. And I cried more the second time. And I knew the shit was coming. And I was like, all right, there's a scene coming. Fuck. Nope.
Dude, that movie pulls at the heartstrings. And I don't know where, because that's going to be in one of these episodes. I just have to figure out where it's, because like the second one, like you get that little snippet of Donald Glover in the Prowler outfit.
Yeah.
So it has to be after Far From Home or is it Homecoming? Homecoming, where the Shocker was in it. Yeah, so he's in Homecoming. So it's got to be after Homecoming.
Yeah.
This movie takes place technically.
So here's a funny thing. So years ago, like back when Community was a show, Donald Glover was starting to get famous. He auditioned to play Spider-Man for like the Andrew Garfield era.
Comedy specials too. And then that didn't happen.
Yeah, so like he was like, and like fans were really pushing for him to play Spider-Man. Eventually, he does get to voice act Miles Morales in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh, does he?
Yes.
Hell yeah. Because I remember watching one of his stand-up specials, and he was talking about how he plays Lando in Star Wars, and he also talks about how he's supposed to play Spider-Man, like he's expected to play Spider-Man. Like it was at that point where they haven't said yes yet, but they are also like more than likely.
Right.
Like they were trying to get him a spot as Spider-Man. And he was like freaking out. And he's like, dude, no, you don't understand the pressure that comes from somebody that might be playing Spider-Man. Like if I mess this up, my career is over.
Right.
Which isn't true because he's got Community. He's got Childish Gambino. He's got that show Atlanta that he does now. Like his career would have been fine, but
absolutely.
But I was kind of hoping for a Donald Glover Spider-Man, but he gets to play the Prowler,
and he voice act Miles for one season. They got a different voice actor for like his later appearances, but his first appearance in Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, it was Donald Glover. And I'm pretty sure he was just stoked about just that in general. Not too stoked because he didn't continue playing him in the cartoon, but
he might have just had something else come up that like conflicted with schedules. Because like
I think Atlanta was happening around this time, and he was coming out with a new album like all around that same time. So, like, dude's busy.
Yeah, dude's got his hand in every cookie jar. Like
I remember he was on the cover of GQ magazine, or they're all like, "This man is doing it all." Like I was like, "Yeah, he is."
He is. He's literally doing everything, and it's everything that he decides to do. He's like, "I'm gonna give it a shot," and then just nails it.
Yeah.
No, I like Donald Glover. I hope we get a live action Donald Glover, Aaron Morales or whatever his last. Yeah, Aaron Morales.
See, dude, it was always back in the old school days, dude. Hobie Brown, the dude who plays Spider-Punk, is that Hobie Brown is the Prowler.
Yeah, that's our multiverse, man. Hobie Brown is now Spider-Punk. Spider-Punk. And I was wondering, like, when I watched that movie, I was just like, Hobie Brown, that sounds familiar. Why is that ringing a bell? And then I was watching the Spider-Man the animated series, and that episode came up because he gets the suit from Kingpin because he was trying to beat up this guy that Kingpin also wanted beat up, and he wanted to like make a name for himself and stop being this little low budget criminal. Like he wanted to start doing big shit and work for himself. And Kingpin gives him the Prowler suit, but the Prowler suit's got like a death trap built into it where if he tries to take it off or if he like disobeys Kingpin, it blows up.
Yeah. You have to team up with Spider-Man to defuse the bomb and take down Kingpin. Like, yeah.
It was cool stuff. And I mean, it's not to say that that's not the backstory for this Prowler, because they didn't really touch on him at all. Right. I mean, like, he was a villain and he worked for Kingpin, but that's all we got.
And that's how it was in the comics too, though. Like, he was like, he never wanted to be a bad guy. He just he wanted to be an established superhero, so he would like cause crimes just to be the one to stop him, type shit.
Which is I fuck with that. He's the original. What's the bad guy's name from the first Incredibles movie? The redheaded guy, because he was pissed off at Syndrome. Yeah. He like created all these robots to start taking over New York or whatever. Yeah. And he had his super suit on and was just like, aha, pushes the button. The robot freezes like noticeably. And he just like taps him and he falls apart. Like,
yeah.
Creating chaos to fix chaos. And I thought that was cool.
Holy heck. I had to mute my mic for that one.
But yeah, Guardians, and then that's where we get a real sense of, people that don't read the comic books can kind of get a sense of what Marvel actually is.
Yeah.
And they thought that Guardians did get a lot of slack. Like, they were just like, why is this movie so silly? Like, why is it so... It doesn't take itself seriously. And oh yeah, that's cool. 1 second. I have. They didn't take themselves seriously. They were just having fun with it, and to me, it was the best MCU series. And I'm sad that we're not going to get. I mean, like, I'm excited to see what they're going to do with what's left. Marvel, here you go. Disney 100.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's got like Disney characters, like Pete is Thanos, Silver Surfer is Pluto.
That's hilarious. That's cool. Look at this, dude. That's Mephisto hanging out with Thanos.
Gotta put that back. I got a couple Thanos things. Like, this one's Thanos Legacy. It's got what looks like Cable on the front.
Oh, sick.
And it's signed by somebody. Who's it signed by? Signed by Jim Starlin.
But because of this book, this is why they'll, like, for years, like during like Infinity War and Endgame, whatever, people are like, we're gonna get a Mephisto. Like, Mephisto's be coming up any minute, like, because he was a heavy, like, important character in the Infinity Gauntlet book. Mm-hmm. So we're like, we're gonna get Mephisto, like in Doctor Strange, or we're gonna get him sometime. We never get a Mephisto.
Aren't we getting a Mephisto though?
Maybe.
Because I mean, with Secret Wars, they get to do a little bit more, I think, than the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's gonna get wild. There's a series called Earth X. It's like in a future Marvel, whatever, where like May has like the Venom symbiote, not Aunt May, but May Parker.
The daughter.
The daughter. She's like Peter Parker is like a cop with Luke Cage, and he's all like out of shape and shit, dude. He don't Spider-Man anymore. Fucking Wolverine's married to Madeline Pryor, the clone of Jean Grey. Fucking. And he's like a fat old drunk and shit too. Like, but also this Nightcrawler is Mephisto, like from the future or some shit, dude. Like, I don't know, it's weird. And also Franklin Richards, like Reed Richards' son, becomes Galactus. Like, it's super wild. It's super wild.
That is a wild timeline. That might be a little too wild for old Skylar.
Don't
get me wrong, I like the silly shit, but like sometimes you're just playing around too much.
I forget if it's in because it Earth X branches off into 2 more series. There's Universe X and then Paradise X. And I think it's in Universe X, somebody kills Lady Death. So now nobody can die. So like people are like in the hospital, like super ill of like cancer or like fatal injuries type shit, and like all they have is this pain now because they can't die. Like no, like you could get shot in the head, but you can't die now.
Progressively get worse, but never die.
Yeah.
That sucks. That would be a cool read. That's kind of like this book I just got, 8 Billion Genies. So what it is the premise of the book is everybody on the planet gets a genie, and they get one wish. Everybody gets one wish, and the comic is this is what happens when everybody gets their one wish. So like everybody makes it. And then there's these guys that are like in this bar, and the bar owner's one wish was everybody that's in here doesn't get affected by what's going on outside. They're all safe. They don't die. Like whatever's happening outside doesn't affect the people that are in this bar right now. And then like the people in the bar go on this adventure, and they're seeing everything that happens. And then there's like a world population count that just every so often just drops substantially because people have wished for somebody to die, and it just keeps going down and down and down, and the world is just chaos. And I haven't actually read it yet. That's just a synopsis, but I had somebody pick this up, New York City Comic-Con. I got it signed by the artist and the writer, which is cool.
Hell yeah.
That premise of what if we did this, what happens to the world? It's cool. Because there's even another comic book like that. It's independent. It's from Boom. It's called Grimm. And all the Grim Reapers are gone, so nobody can die. I haven't read it yet. I just found out about it, and I can't wait to read that. That's going to be a cool read, too. But, yeah, comic books.
Comic books, man.
Okay, so...
Avengers. The Avengers. Ultron. Age of Ultron. I touched on the last episode where I told you that Ultron was originally built by Hank Pym.
Yeah.
And you were like flabbergasted. Like, what? Hank Pym? I think the only other time he was made by Tony Stark was in the Avengers cartoon movies, and then this, Age of Ultron.
But the character's still the same.
Still the same character, yes.
Yeah. I wonder why well, I mean, yeah, because like Hank Pym hasn't been introduced yet because Ant-Man is after Age of Ultron.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like what they did.
That was my main gripe when this movie was coming out. I'm like, how are we getting Ultron? We haven't got Ant-Man yet. Like, but they made it work.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know how Hank Pym created Ultron or how Ultron originally came to be, but with the story that they wrote in this movie, where Tony's wanting this like shield around the world, and he tries to use one of the Tesseract, I believe it was the Tesseract, to create take Jarvis and make him real,
like a more enhanced AI like type shit.
Yeah, and then Ultron kills Jarvis. So no, he didn't use the Infinity Stone until after. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but he tried to make the one world protector, which he did. It ended up being Vision, but then we get Ultron, who got connected to the internet and just started hating its life and every bit of life around it, and then kills Jarvis.
Yeah.
And then finds all these scraps around the workshop and creates this malnourished zombie figure of a robot, and then threatens the Avengers.
Yeah.
How does he get made in the by Hank Pym?
I don't remember how he gets made by Hank Pym. He builds them to be like, I think like a helper for the Avengers or whatever. Like, but like he ends up just like he's he's like self-aware or whatever. He's AI. He's self-aware. He just like is just not what he's not down with them type shit really. And Ultron also Ultron built Vision also. But Vision was a bad guy for the Avengers for his first couple things. It was the white Vision that we see in WandaVision. OG Vision was in the white thing. He was an enemy to the Avengers until later on they get him on the team.
I did not know that. There's so much that doesn't get put into these movies.
Dude, this movie was so good, but he's all like, language.
Yeah. And then at the end, he swears, and they're just like, and she was just like, Steve, you kiss your mother with that mouth?
Right.
But this is great. Then the guy that they got, I can't remember the actor's name, the guy that they got to play Ultron, which I'm not a huge fan of his character from The Office, but what he did with his voice was just so intimidating.
He was so good.
It was so menacing how he portrayed this character, and you don't even get to see him. Like, he did such a good job with Ultron. Like, it was a truly terrifying villain.
He was intense, dude. And one of my favorite things was the Disney promo art that was coming out while this movie was in production and stuff. There was so much good Disney promo art. Like there was like a Mickey Mouse, like there was like Disney characters like as the Avengers or whatever. And, like Pinocchio was Ultron because like there are no strings on me type shit. Like it was so fucking cool.
They're doing that with the comic books now. Like that Infinity Gauntlet thing that I showed you was all the Disney characters as MCU people. Like I think I have. Is it in this one? Oh, there it is. Where did it go? Like this one. Like we have Daisy Duck as Spider-Gwen.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
They had Minnie Mouse as Captain Marvel, and Pluto was still Silver Surfer, I think. Like they're doing it right now for like their 100th anniversary or whatever.
Dude, I can't find any of their sick ass art. Maybe I'll put Disney characters.
What is it you're looking for?
This Age of Ultron promo art. All I'm getting is like posters.
Probably all you will find.
Oh shit, here's one of them.
You got one?
I found one of them. This is.
I
had that in there.
Oh, that's rad. That's really cool.
Yeah, there was a bunch. There was a bunch of this stuff. It was like, that's cool. I found that one though. Oh man, there was a bunch of this stuff that was coming out around the same time.
I didn't see any of that.
It was cool though.
But this is a great movie, dude. This was like another, which Avengers is always like the world is going to end at the end of this movie if we don't figure this out.
Yeah.
But to me, this one, like, I don't know. I actually felt like they weren't going to do it. Like they weren't going to succeed for this one. Dude, they really kept the suspense going.
Dude fucking lifted up an entire country into the sky and then dropped it back on the continent, dude.
Like they was going to make a boom big enough to destroy the world. It was, and then like, and then the way that they beat it, like they blew it up and had like all the Iron Man bots come in and like push it back up. Like, come on.
Fun fact about both actors who played Quicksilver also starred with each other in Kick-Ass.
Yes, they did. And I'm glad they kind of killed off Quicksilver in this movie because that kid wasn't it.
No, dude, it's the X-Men Quicksilver, dude. That kid is it.
Yeah, the kid from American Horror Story.
Yes.
That dude was fantastic as Quicksilver.
That dude's just really good at everything he does.
Yeah, the Kick-Ass guy, like, he's coming out in a new movie right now.
He's Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh no, dog. Kraven's this bloodthirsty, like hungry hunter guy, and we're getting the big-nosed kid from Kick-Ass? Like, you couldn't find somebody a little more rough to play Kraven?
Yeah.
Like, this guy's blood merges with the blood of a lion, and it mutates. Like,
there's
this, just like what they did with Adam Warlock. We got the dorky kid from We're the Millers. Plays him.
That kid's badass. That kid's actually badass though.
I mean, I enjoyed the character, but like, Adam Warlock is supposed to be this force to be reckoned with, and
yeah,
that's what you did to him. Like,
oh yeah,
but we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's later.
They did totally fuck up Adam Warlock, dude. But now he's a Guardian, so like whatever.
I mean, yeah, fine, whatever, cool. But I guess, like, I was talking to, because I was watching that movie. This is a couple of weeks ago. I was watching it with family, and Dad was really into comic books. And I asked him, I'm like, dude, what's Adam Warlock actually like? Because I have a feeling he totally got gypped. And he's like, he did. But there are instances in like the comic books where they wake him up too early, and this is what he's like. Like, he's like a kid. He's emotion based. Like, he's just kind of dumb in the comic books when they wake him up too early. So I guess they got it right, but not really. I don't know. I was expecting Adam Warlock to just be like Superman, but mean.
I think Marvel has like 3 Superman characters. There's one dude with like the mohawk that hangs out with Cyclops' dad. I forget his name. And then there's Sentry and then Hyperion.
Well, even Captain Marvel, at least in the movies, is very Superman.
Yeah. I don't know. Captain Marvel is just badass in general in the books and everything, except for fucking Civil War Part 2, where she's trying to be on some like Minority Report type shit. She's all like, well, if we stop them before they commit the crime, even because we know they're going to commit the crime in the future, if we kill them first, we're saving the day. And people are all like, no, Carol, shut the fuck up.
You can't do that. But she had a point.
She did, but that's not what you do.
Right, we're the Avengers. We avenge.
Yeah.
We don't prepare for shit. We take care of it after it happens.
Yeah.
And one thing that I found kind of different about Age of Ultron is it didn't really play into the Infinity Gauntlet.
No.
Like, this was a very Avengers-specific movie.
Yeah.
Like there might have been hints at it, but
well, they
there
had
was no Infinity Stone talk really, except for the
Soul Stone. They had to put whatever stone that was in Vision's head to make him alive.
It's the Soul Stone. No, it's not the Soul Stone. I don't remember which one it is. Infinity Stone and Vision.
Dude, so in Earth X,
Mind Stone.
The Mind Stone. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, you want to hear something wild? So in one of Earth X, Paradise X, one of those, whatever, Sue Storm is dead. So Reed Richards grows a fucking Sue Storm out of his arm, fucking cuts it off, and fucking puts the Soul Stone on it, and fucking basically resurrects Sue Storm that way.
That's cool. That's cool. I like that. I support that decision. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't play this movie into the whole event. It was just a standalone story, like, because you didn't really need the first Avengers. You didn't need anything else that was going on. It was like a one shot. Like, you had a complete story wrapped up in this one movie. And I mean, I guess it kind of had something to do with it, because this is how we introduced the Scarlet Witch before she becomes the Scarlet Witch.
This movie is important for the next Captain America movie too, for which we'll get to
in the next episode.
Yeah, the next episode, because
our next
all the stuff that happens in this movie is directly related to what happens next for Civil War.
Which, and this time I'm going to watch these movies so they're fresh in my mind. Because I could kind of, while looking at the list here, I can kind of see where we can do stopping points.
Right.
Because we don't get another Avengers movie for a minute.
Quite some time, because now we got to get introduced to everyone that got brought in on Civil War.
And because we need Ant-Man, we need Doctor Strange. We got another Guardians movie. We got Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We got another Thor movie, Black Panther. All of that before we
all that could be the whole, and then like Avengers Infinity Game could be its own episode. Like
the game?
I said Infinity Game. I call it Infinity Game because it's one movie to me.
Oh, that makes sense.
Or End War. I don't either way.
Yeah, we got a lot to cover in the next ones, and there's a lot of TV shows.
The TV
that, that happen in between too.
The Netflix shows.
Yeah, because we got Agent Carter, we got Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, The Defenders, The Punisher, Inhumans. Like, there's the Runaways. Like, there's a lot that happens in between now and.
I never finished Runaways, but I've watched all the other shows. Inhumans had potential. It was terrible, but it had potential. Like some of the characters that they had in there were good, and the same dude who played Black Bolt in that show came back for the Doctor Strange movie.
And he played Black Bolt.
Yeah, even though you don't see him with the mask off at all, you can tell it's the same guy. He had the same chin.
Which I'd like to see that, because Black Bolt's supposed to be this other OP character that the MCU just didn't find it important enough to do anything with.
Well, he was in the Inhuman show. Like, he was there, and the production of that show was so wonky, dude, because it was originally supposed to be a movie. And then it wasn't a movie anymore. And then it was supposed to be like a 2-episode fucking thing, but then still airing in theaters. And then that wasn't it anymore. It was shot in freaking the first like episode or whatever was shot in like beautiful like 4K fucking like cutting edge technology at the time. And it was just supposed to be like a one-off, like it was supposed to be a movie, and then it became like an 8-episode TV show. Like the first 2 episodes are shot in like this beautiful 4K action, and then the rest is just like, oh, whatever, dude, 1080p, like whatever. Like,
like, we really dropped the ball on this. We're not putting any more money into it. But I'm excited for that, because we're starting to get into the really exciting stuff, or the stuff that I prefer out of the MCU. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the older stuff too.
There's building
this is
blocks.
Where we start getting comic book adaptations in movies.
Yeah.
Like, not just the storyline, but the writing, the characters. Like, we're getting some authentic Marvel in these movies that are coming up.
Yeah. It's exciting.
And I love that they even like stuck, because like I'm going to touch on it just a second, not what's going on in the movies, but because they didn't introduce Black Panther at first. Black Panther wasn't an original Marvel character. He was kind of an affirmative action addition to the comic books because there was no black characters. Yeah. And it was way later, after all these characters were already introduced, that's when we got Black Panther. And they kind of did it with the movies too. Like they didn't do Black Panther until all of this shit had already come out and it was already established. And then they're like, now it's time.
Did you ever hear this story? So, like, Marvel editors were telling whoever was writing Black Panther or drawing Black Panther at the time, they're all like, there's not enough white people in this book. Like, you need to put more white people in it. So they made a whole issue where he was just beat the shit out of a bunch of Klansmen. So, like, there's your white people.
Right, like, the whole point of this was no white people. Yeah, those debates are fun. But yeah, man. Yeah, well, I think we're at a good stopping point. We can come back to this. And when we start next, we got Ant-Man.
Episode 3 will be on my channel. Stay tuned.
On your channel with your boys.
Hopefully if we schedule it and time it right. Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. Like we can. You talk to them, let me know what's going on. Let them know what movies we're covering if they need, or unless they're like you and can just remember what happens and shit, even though they haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those kind of people. I need time to prepare.
Right. I think that list that leads all the way up to Infinity War. Boom. That's a good. That's a lot of shit to cover right there. We might not even make it all the way through.
Yeah, that could be
two episodes. You got Civil War, you got Black Panther, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, like all happening at the same time, or like boom, 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 boom. They were like making 3 movies a year at this point, like just pumping shit out. They were
pumping it out. They had to put all of that stuff out before they did Endgame and Infinity War. Because after that storyline's done. Like, you can't keep adding to it.
And it wouldn't even take even longer. Like, if Marvel had the rights to, like, X-Men, whatever, all their Fox properties or whatever, during this time, like, before, like, we would have had to get, like, new X-Men, like, all this stuff just to make Infinity War, like, how it was in the comics. You know, like bringing in fucking like new X-Men or just mutants and stuff in general. Like, we're bringing in all these other, like, just so you can see Thanos snap and see Wolverine just fucking like his claws go limp. Rubber now.
Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be cool if we can get like a retcon and like there's like a flashback and whatever they're gonna do with the new X-Men. And bring it back to the blip and have like little flashback scenes. Because with Wolverine, there's always flashback scenes.
Yeah.
Like, he's that one character that they can use because he's been in everything. He is involved in every storyline ever in X-Men where they can just have a flashback of his mind during where the blip starts or the shit with Thanos. And that could be their way of putting it back in there.
Like, you know that scene in X-Men First Class when Magneto and Charles approach Wolverine? They're like, join him, and he's like, basically, go fuck yourself.
Fuck off.
Yeah. For some reason, like, in my brain for like years, I thought that scene took place in the first Captain America. Because, like, right around that, like, because there's comics and stuff where you find out Wolverine and Captain America teamed up before, like, during World War II. Like, they've known each other a long time, but this Wolverine forgot because his whole character is just supposed to be an amnesiac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who I am. Yeah. But that would be cool. And then that was also because, if I remember right, Hugh Jackman was like, dude, I am done. Like, I'm done with Wolverine. Like, I'm getting old. Like, mostly because, like, to keep in shape, to look like Wolverine is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, the diet he has to be on and whatnot to just have like that physique. He's like, it ain't worth it to me. So that was just like his, like, okay, like, I'll do this, but like, I'm done. So
I mean, like,
go fuck themselves. And he's like, because that's kind of what he said to Fox or whoever made the movie.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, I ain't doing it.
I mean, he's always going to be in like relatively good shape because he's a musical theater actor. Like really, like he's like a singer and dancer like type motherfucker.
Yeah, he does
like,
Broadway.
Like, yeah,
that was how he got famous.
Yeah, so like he's always going to be in relatively good shape. Like even when he played Jean Valjean in Les Miserables, dude, like he's like an old man, but you go. He's pulling some shit like all on his own when he's getting off parole in the beginning of the movie. I'm all like, you're jacked forever.
You're gonna be in shape, but to get like that chiseled like 6-pack and like the chest and everything, like you have to like have 0 carbs in your diet. You have to dehydrate yourself. Like it's a real extreme diet.
It's so funny. Like you watch like X-Men like 1, 2, and 3, and then you go and watch like X-Men Origins Wolverine, which was like supposed to like take place way before those movies. He's way more jacked in those movies because he's like you watch the first X-Men movie, he's really not that ripped. He just looks like a regular dude with some like a hairy chest type shit. Like he's really not that ripped. X-Men 2, he's a little more jacked. X-Men 3, like he's there, but then you get the prequel movie where he's just in the fucking he's just super jacked.
And then since they did that, like he has to look like that from here on out.
Yeah.
Which is probably why he agreed to do Old Man Logan, because he's just like, oh, I can keep my clothes on. I don't have I don't have to starve myself for 5 minutes of screen time, like.
Right.
But I'm excited to see what they do with Deadpool 3 whenever we get a release date for that.
I think it's back in production now. I'm not sure exactly.
So the Actors Guild still needs to get their shit together, as far as I know.
Yeah.
The writers they figured it out, but as
writers,
far as I know,
I think Ryan Reynolds is one of the main writers, anyways, and like he's gonna probably just like he might be scabbing a little bit to get this movie done.
Oh yeah, dude, Ryan Reynolds makes things happen. Like we don't have to worry about it. We're going to get this movie, but it's just a matter of getting everybody else on the bandwagon,
right?
Because the movie was written. Like that's not the problem. Like they were shooting, and then all of this shit happened.
Yeah.
So like Hugh Jackman's probably like, I don't give a fuck. Like I have money. Like I don't need to go on strike. But like all the the other roles, like the cameos and stuff like that, they might
right
not be wanting to work. Even though Ryan Reynolds is the type of dude that's just like, I'll just pay you what you ask for.
Right.
Like, because he's that dude.
Yeah. He's super like well respected in the industry. Like
absolutely.
Yeah.
He's just a genuine guy.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it.
I am too.
I hope we keep getting Deadpool movies, honestly, until Ryan Reynolds gets so old he can't play it anymore. I hope we continue to get Deadpool movies.
Apparently, Ryan Reynolds was born on Deadpool's first appearance. Like he was like born like the same day Deadpool had his first appearance in the comics.
Hell yeah, that's cool. New Mutants 98. I'd like to get my hands on one of those too. I think I have. Well, we can actually wrap this up, and if we want to keep talking, we can, because now we're getting off into stuff that doesn't really have anything to do with the MCU. But yeah, that's MCU episode 2 over here on Sky Comics with my buddy Tim from weinercast. This video will be you'll be able to rewatch this on my channel. And episode 3, whenever it happens, hopefully within the next week or two, we can get after it. It'll be over on his channel, and his channel has got I got a link in the description to his place, so go give him a follow, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you know when the new episodes come out. And do the same thing for my channel, all right? Yeah. And my Instagram, because not only do I bring you pop culture content, I also sell comic books. And I have a full Instagram of my adventures through my pop culture lifestyle. So go follow my Instagram and give it a follow so you can stay up to date on what's going on with Sky Comics. Now, Tim, tell the people what's going on. Where can they find you?
You can find me Really, dude, like on my YouTube, I'm starting a second channel. I'm starting a second YouTube channel where it's just gonna be posting my comedy because I lost room on my camera roll on my phone. I'm all out of storage, so I'm starting a second YouTube channel that's just gonna have all of my stand up comedy. I'll let you know when all that happens. It's gonna be sometime probably this week. I'm setting all that up. But yeah, Team Wiener on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, Big Bone Timon. Yeah, that's that right there.
That's it. All right. Well, there you guys have it. You know where to find us, and you know we'll be back with a part 3. We're going to go through a lot. He's got a couple buddies that he's going to try to bring in on it. We're going to see how schedules work. I'm not 100% sure, but if you follow my Instagram, and I don't know if he's going to update on his, but I will definitely be updating on mine on when the next episode is going to come out. So make sure you follow that Instagram. Make sure to like and comment on this video. And you know what? Be good to yourselves. Treat everybody with respect. Go buy yourself that comic book, and on your way home, buy that homeless man a cup of coffee. Buy yourself a cup of coffee. Thanks for stopping by. I love you guys. Bye. And